The Advance Auto Parts Clash is an annual invitation-only Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series exhibition event held at Daytona International Speedway in February, the weekend before the Daytona 500. It is the first competitive event of the season and serves as a kickoff event for the NASCAR portion of Speedweeks. The event was originally known as the Busch Clash and consisted of a 20-lap, 50-mile, all-out sprint for the previous season's pole position winners, considered the de facto fastest drivers on the circuit. In its current format, it is made up of two segments: a 25-lap start that then culminates in a 50-lap final segment. Like the All-Star race held at Charlotte, the race awards no championship points but instead offers a large cash purse, circumstances which are supposed to encourage an all-out driving style not seen in regular season races. The 2017 Clash at Daytona will not be a predetermined number of cars. Rather, the field is limited to drivers who meet more exclusive criteria. Only drivers who were 2016 Pole Award winners, former Clash race winners, former Daytona 500 pole winners who competed full-time in 2016, and drivers who qualified for the 2016 chase are eligible. The defending winner of the Clash at Daytona is Joey Logano after winning in 2017. Background and history. The event was first known as the Busch Clash and was the brainchild of Monty Roberts. Roberts was the brand manager of the newly formed Busch Beer, which had formerly been Busch Bavarian Beer, and the race was seen as a way to promote the new brand. Roberts had been successful introducing Mercury into racing while working at Ford, and had also been a part of Ontario Motor Speedway. His experiences led him to believe that racing fans were loyal brand followers. The initial format was set up as a 50-mile sprint race, with no pit stops, with a field consisting of the previous season's pole position winners, inviting the fastest drivers from the previous season. Headlined the event as the fastest race of the season. The race established an incentive for drivers to earn pole positions during the NASCAR season, which up to that time still offered relatively tiny cash prizes. Likewise, at no time have pole winners earned bonus championship points. The event was also seen as a way to expand the Speedweeks activities leading up to the Daytona 500. Previously, the weekend before the Daytona 500 featured only minor support events, and the Winston Cup competitors ordinarily would not have taken to the track until Wednesday. The Busch Clash allowed the Winston Cup regulars to kick off the week live on CBS. The 1987 race, won by Bill Elliott, was completed at an average speed of 197.802 miles per hour. It stands as the fastest sanctioned race in the history of NASCAR, though it was not an official points-paying event. The 2013 race, renamed the Sprint Unlimited at Daytona, introduced a new format incorporating the results of fan voting into certain aspects of the race. In 2017, the race was renamed the Advance Auto Parts Clash after Advance Auto Parts signed a multi-year deal to sponsor the event. The 2017 race was delayed to Sunday due to persistent rain, marking the first time the race has been run during the day since 2006. Race format: 1979 to 1990. The race consisted of a single 20-lap, 50-mile, green flag sprint with no pit stops required. Caution flag laps would not count. 1991 to 1997. The race was broken into two 10-lap, green flag segments. The field was then inverted for the second 10-lap segment. Prize money was awarded for both segments for all positions. The race was broken up into two segments mainly because it had been lacking competitiveness since restrictor plates were introduced in 1988. The inversion rule added some needed excitement to the event. but its popularity continued to wane. 1998 to 2000. The event was renamed the Busch Shootout, and consisted of two 25-lap, 62.5-mile races. The Busch Shootout qualifier at 11 a.m. and the Busch Shootout itself at 12 p.m. One two-tire pit stop was required for each race. The winner of the qualifier advanced to the main event. 2001-2002. The event was renamed the Budweiser Shootout and expanded to a new distance, 70 laps, 175 miles. Caution laps would be counted, but the finish had to be under green, with the Truck Series green-white checker rule used if necessary. A minimum of one two-tire green flag pit stop was required. The Busch Shootout qualifier was discontinued because second-round qualifying for Cup races had been eliminated. 2003 to 2008. The race was broken up into two segments. A 20-lap segment, followed by a 10-minute intermission, concluding with a 50-lap second segment. While a pit stop was no longer required by rule, a reduction in fuel cell size, from 22 gallons to 13.5 gallons, made a fuel stop necessary. In 2007, fuel cells were expanded to 18.5 gallons. Many drivers also changed two tires during their fuel stop, as the time required to fuel the car allowed for a two-tire change without additional delay. 2009 to 2012. The first segment was expanded to 25 laps, followed by the 50-lap second segment. The total race distance was 75 laps, 187.5 miles. 2013 to 2015. The race was divided into three segments: 30 laps, 25 laps, 20 laps, with online fan voting deciding certain aspects of the race specifics, lengths of the segments, requirements for mandatory pit stops, number of drivers eliminated, etc. The total race distance was 75 laps, 187.5 miles. For 2013, the vote resulted in a mandatory four-tire pit stop, and no cars were eliminated. For 2014, voting set the starting lineup for final practice speeds and required mandatory pit stops after the second segment. Race eligibility. 1979 to 1997. Pole position winners from the previous season clinched automatic berths. The drivers that were the fastest qualifiers for the previous year's races during Busch second round qualifying were eligible for one wild card spot. The wild card driver was selected by blind draw during the week of the NASCAR Awards Banquet or during the January Media Tour. From 1995 1996. The winner of the most pole positions in the secondary NASCAR Busch Series won an entry into the Busch Clash, driving a Busch-sponsored car. David Green won the right both times. 1998 to 2000. Pole position winners from the previous season clinched automatic berths. Drivers eligible from second-round qualifying participated in the Busch Shootout qualifier, with the winner advancing to the main event Busch Shootout. 2001. Pole position winners from the previous season clinched automatic berths. In addition, all former winners of the event not already qualified received automatic berths. NASCAR eliminated second-round qualifying beginning in 2001 and the shootout qualifier was eliminated. For the 2001 shootout only, the drivers eligible from second-round qualifying of 2000 events were placed in a blind draw for the final wild card starting position, as had been done from 1979 to 1997. 2002 to 2008. Pole position winners from the previous season clinched automatic berths. All former winners of the event not already qualified received automatic berths. 2009. The field consists of 28 cars. The top 6 teams from each manufacturer, Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, and Toyota, based on owners' points from the previous season, clinch berths for a total of 24 cars. Previous season's pole position winners no longer were a qualifying factor. Unlike previous formats, the entry receives the berth, not the driver. In addition, each of the 4 manufacturers receive one wild card berth for a car driver not already qualified, to bring the grand total to 28 cars. The other 4 entries were for previous champions and past shootout winners. This system was discarded after only 1 year as it was largely unpopular. 2010-2011. A new qualifying format was introduced, which expanded the field, with no size limitations. The 12 drivers from the previous season's chase, previous Budweiser shootout winners, previous points-paying winners at Daytona, Daytona 500 or Coke 0400, previous Sprint Cup champions, the last 10 Rookies of Year. In 2010, it was only the reigning Rookie of the Year. 2012, the field was once again expanded. Automatic bids went to the top 25 in series points. Every driver from defending series champion Tony Stewart through 25th place Brian Vickers, as well as any Daytona race winner who was not otherwise qualified and who competed in at least one race in 2011, which enabled Bill Elliott, Jeff Bodine, Derek Cope, Michael Waltrip, Jamie McMurray, Trevor Bayne, Terry Labonte, and Ken Schrader to make the race if they decide to run. 2013-2014. The unlimited format returned to the format used from 2002 to 2008, with all drivers who won pole positions via time trials. Does not include winners of Practice 1. Should qualifying not be held because of inclement weather, and previous unlimited shootout winners that have attempted to qualify for any of the 36 points races in the previous season. Because of the new race sponsor, the beer sticker mandate was eliminated by the track. 2015-2016. Eligibility was once again changed, with a minimum of 25 eligible entries. Automatic eligibility now goes to the 16 drivers from the previous year's chase, e.g., in the 2016 Unlimited. Every driver from defending 2015 Series champion Kyle Busch through 16th place Clint Bowyer qualified, with the exception of Jeff Gordon, who retired. Drivers who won pole positions via knockout qualifying, excluding winners of Practice 1. Should qualifying be rained out, previous unlimited winners that attempted to qualify for any of the 36 points races in the previous season, previous Daytona 500 and front row starters, both inside and outside pole sitters, if they did not win a pole position at any of the other 35 races during the previous season. Any remaining spots are filled by the highest drivers in the previous season's final point standings to not be automatically entered into the Unlimited on any of the other qualifications. 2017 present. Unlike previous years, the starting field for the 2017 Clash will not be a predetermined number of cars. Rather, the field is limited to drivers who meet more exclusive criteria. Only drivers who were 2016 Pole Award winners, former Clash race winners, former Daytona 500 pole winners who competed full-time in 2016, and drivers who qualified for the 2016 chase are eligible. Race history. 1979. The race debuted on Sunday. Broadcast live on CBS. Pole position qualifying for the Daytona 500 would start Sunday at 10 a.m., followed by the ARCA 200. The Busch Clash would be held after the ARCA race at 3 p.m. 1980. Heavy winds during Daytona 500 pole qualifying delayed the proceedings and the ARCA 200 began 90 minutes later than scheduled. As 3 p.m. approached, the ARCA race was red-flagged and halted so that the Busch Clash could be held as scheduled and be shown on live television. After the clash was finished, the ARCA race resumed. 1981. Morning rain washed out Daytona 500 pole qualifying, which was rescheduled for the following day. After the track dried Sunday, the ARCA race began at 2:30 p.m. The Busch Clash, scheduled for 3 p.m., was held following the delayed ARCA race. 1983. Rain washed out all scheduled activities for Sunday. The Busch Clash was rescheduled and run the following day, Monday. 1984. Ricky Rudd was spun off the track at turn 4 at a very high speed, resulting in a blowover, then a series of violent flips. Ricky suffered a concussion, and his eyes were so swollen that he had to tape them open so he could race in that Thursday's Uno Twin 125 and subsequent races. This practice is now illegal as a result of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. rule, effective the 2014 season, mandating drivers take a concussion test, and Rudd would never have been approved to participate in subsequent races for a few weeks under current rules. 1985. Track officials reorganized the schedule for track activities for the weekend. Daytona 500 pole qualifying was moved from Sunday to Saturday, and the Busch Clash was moved from 3 p.m. to 12 p.m. on Sunday. The ARCA 200 was then held after the Busch Clash rather than before. 1992. For 1 year, Daytona 500 pole qualifying and the Busch Clash swapped days. The Busch Clash was held Saturday, and qualifying was held Sunday. This move was made at the request of CBS, who wanted the additional time on Sunday for their coverage of the 1992 Winter Olympics. 1995. Morning rain delayed the start by 30 minutes. 2001. Fox broadcasts the race for the first time. It also marked the first race televised on Fox. The start time was shifted to 2 p.m. on Sundays. 2002. TNT broadcast the race for the first time. 2003. The race was run at night for the first time. 2004. A crash at the final lap resulted in controversy. A 2003 incident at Loudon involving Dale Jarrett and Casey Mears had resulted in the banning of racing back to the caution. In this case, NASCAR did not waive the caution at the end of the race despite a crash involving Ryan Newman and Jamie McMurray, and allowed the race to run to the finish, creating a potentially dangerous situation. Ironically, Dale Jarrett won the race. 2005. The ARCA race was stopped for 45 minutes because of repairs to the catch fencing, and was stopped 15 laps short in order to prepare for the Budweiser shootout. 2006. The event was postponed from Saturday night to Sunday afternoon due to rain. This was also the first shootout to feature the green-white checkered finish. Denny Hamlin became the first rookie to win the event in 2006 in his number 11 car. 2007. Tony Stewart won the race for the third time driving his No. 20 car. It was the second win in a row for Joe Gibbs Racing because Denny Hamlin won in 2006. 2008. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the race for the second time, and won in his first start with Hendrick Motorsports. He also made the record of leading the most laps, 47, during the shootout. 2009. Kevin Harvick won the race for the first time on a last-lap pass reminiscent of his 2007 Daytona 500 last-lap pass on Mark Martin. This time, however, Harvick passed Jamie McMurray in turn 3 for the win as an accident would occur behind Harvick. Also, the same scenario happened in the 500 for Harvick. 2010. All Daytona 500 qualifying weekend activity was moved to Saturday, as not to conflict with Super Bowl 44. Daytona 500 qualifying started at 12 noon. Then the Arca Lucas oil slick missed 200 at 4:30 p.m., and the Budweiser shootout was held at 8 p.m. Kevin Harvick won the race for the second time in a row, becoming the first driver to win it consecutively since Tony Stewart. A crash caused by Jeff Gordon during the one attempt at the green-white checkered finish led the race to finish under caution. 2011. Kurt Busch won the race in a complicated finish. For the last few laps, a lead pack of 4 cars ran single file, with Ryan Newman in the lead, followed by Denny Hamlin, then Busch, and then Jamie McMurray, coming out of turn 4 on the final lap. Busch and McMurray pulled to the outside, while Denny Hamlin pulled to the inside. Hamlin took the lead from Newman under the yellow line, which is prohibited at Daytona and Talladega. Busch and McMurray could not get to the line quick enough, so at first it seemed that Hamlin had won, with 2 to 4 being Busch, McMurray and Newman. But after reviewing the footage, Hamlin was dropped to the last car on the lead lap, in 13th, and all other drivers on the lead lap gained a position, giving Busch the win. 2012. Kyle Busch won the race after passing Tony Stewart at the finish line. It was the closest finish in Bud Shootout history. The race itself, being the first Sprint Cup event under a new rules package designed to break up the controversial two-car tandem drafting of the previous year, was marked by 3 multi-car crashes during the race caused by drivers getting into the left rear quarter panel of another car. The first crash happened in the first 25 laps segment when Paul Menard got into David Reagan in turn 2, starting an 8-car crash. The drivers involved were Casey Kane, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Paul Menard, Jeff Burton, David Reagan, Juan Pablo Montoya and Michael Waltrip. The second one happened on lap 55, also in turn 2. This one started when Marcos Ambrose turned Joey Logano loose. Several other drivers were collected trying to avoid Logano, including Kenseth, Martin Truex Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Kevin Harvick. Harvick's brakes failed, and he ended up coasting down the apron with flames coming out from under his car, though they extinguished themselves before Harvick reached the garage. A third crash happened with 2 laps to go within regulation, when Jeff Gordon got into the back of eventual winner Kyle Busch on turn 4. While Kyle retained control of his car, Gordon shot up the banking and collected Jimmy Johnson, Jamie McMurray and Kurt Busch, and turned sideways on the driver's side door. Gordon was pushed down the track on his side for several hundred feet before his car barrel rolled 3 times and came to a rest on his roof. 2013. Kevin Harvick won for the 3rd time in the race. This was the first time the event was named the Sprint Unlimited. This race also marked the debut of the 6th-generation car. 2014. Denny Hamlin won his 2nd Unlimited by overtaking Brad Keselowski with drafting help from Kyle Busch with 2 laps to go. The first race under a new rules package that included a slightly taller spoiler. There were numerous wrecks, including a frightening wreck on lap 35 when Matt Kenseth was turned by Joey Logano in the Trioval, collecting Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, Danica Patrick, Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., which saw Stenhouse's car first drive under Busch's rear wheels, lose its brakes and steering, before T-boning Patrick on the apron. The race also saw an incident during the break between the 2nd and 3rd segments in which the pace car managed to catch fire. There were 16 lead changes among 7 drivers. 2015. Matt Kenseth won the race with Martin Truex Jr. challenging in the final laps. Brad Keselowski crashed hard on the front straight at lap 25, and Jamie McMurray caused the big one later in the race. After the race, Defending series champion Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano were involved in an altercation after Logano's 22 sent Harvick's 4 into the Turn 4 wall, coming to the white flag. 2016. Hamlin took command of the field and moved ahead of the No. 2 car. Eventually, Keselowski moved by him, coming to the line, and took the lead on lap 234. Hamlin shot ahead of Keselowski on the backstretch to take the lead back the next lap. Keselowski used a push from teammate Joey Logano to retake the lead on lap 37. Just like his first stint in the lead, he picked up another piece of debris that covered his grille. The third caution of the race flew on lap 44 for a single car spin on the backstretch. Going down the backstretch, Johnson made contact with mirrors that sent him spinning through the grass. His car dug into the ground and ripped off the front fender. He said afterwards that he did a decent job of backing out of there and not causing a big one as the door shut on me. Keselowski opted to stay out while the rest of the field opted to pit. The race restarted with 2 laps to go in overtime. The field passed the overtime line and the race was official at that point. After a multi-car wreck in Turn 1, Hamlin was declared the race winner. 2017. For just the second time in the event's history, the race was postponed from Saturday night to Sunday afternoon due to rain. Kurt Busch lasted just shy of 20 laps as Jimmy Johnson got loose off of Turn 4 and spun Busch. Denny Hamlin dominated and looked to be on his way to his 4th win in the event, leading 48 laps. After leading at the white flag, Brad Keselowski made a move to the inside that Hamlin left open, which led to Hamlin driving into Keselowski in a failed attempt to block him, ultimately ending their chances at winning. As the collision happened, Keselowski's teammate Joey Logano was able to avoid the incident on the high side and ultimately won the event for the first time in his career over Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman. Danica Patrick managed to finish 4th after running 10th at the white flag. Race notes: 6 times the winner of the Clash at Daytona has gone on to win the Daytona 500 the following weekend. Bobby Allison, 1982. Bill Elliott, 1987. Dale Jarrett, 1996. 2000. Jeff Gordon, 1997. And Denny Hamlin, 2016. Though there have been drivers who have won all 3 of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series events of Speedweeks at Daytona, the Clash at Daytona, the Can-Am Duel, and the Daytona 500, there has not yet been a driver who won all 3 events in the same year. Twice, and Earnhardt won 2 of the events, but came up short by losing to Dale Jarrett in the 3rd. In 2004, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the Budweiser Duel and the Daytona 500, but finished second to Jarrett in the Unlimited. In 1993, Dale Earnhardt won the Unlimited and the Budweiser Duel, but finished second to Jarrett in the Daytona 500. In 2014, Denny Hamlin joined this group, winning the Unlimited and the second Duel race, but losing to Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 500, while it was still named the Busch Clash. On 2 occasions, the race had the year in its official title. The Busch Clash of '89 and the Busch Clash of '93 were the respective advertised titles. From 1979 until 2008, the drivers themselves qualified as eligible for the Budweiser Shootout, not the teams. If an eligible driver for the upcoming shootout switches teams in the off-season, the driver, not the team, is eligible for the race. That driver competes in the race with his new team. Until 2008, drivers who win the pole award at a race must have had an Anheuser-Busch decal, the Busch brand, from 1979 to 1997, and the Budweiser brand 1998 to 2007, or the corporate logo affixed to their car. For drivers under 21 years of age, at the time in order to earn the berth for the Budweiser shootout. If the car does not carry the sticker, the Budweiser pole award goes to the next car eligible. But the driver which wins the Budweiser pole award does not earn a shootout spot. In 1998, John Andretti was eligible to race in the Bud shootout for having won a pole position in 1997, racing for Cale Yarborough. In the off-season, Andretti switched to Petty Enterprises, which was not allowed to participate. Since they chose not to fix the proper decals to their cars, it was Petty family tradition to not permit alcohol decals or sponsorship on their cars. Andretti participated in the race in a one-off ride with Hendrick Motorsports' Ricky Craven. The regular driver for Hendrick's Budweiser-sponsored Chevrolet did not qualify for the race. Andretti drove the Hendrick car, which carried the usual No. 25 instead of the No. 50 otherwise used by the team for NASCAR's 50-year celebration in 1998. Bobby Hamilton won the pole position for the 1997 Miller 400 racing for Petty Enterprises, but was not eligible for the 1998 Bud shootout since the team chose not to affix the proper decal. John Andretti won the pole position for the 1998 Prime Star 500 racing for Petty Enterprises, but was not eligible for the 1999 Bud shootout since the team chose not to affix the proper decal. Todd Bodine was the official winner of the Bud Pole Award by NASCAR rule, but not awarded a Budweiser shootout position. Jeff Green won the pole position for the 2003 Daytona 500 racing Richard Childress Racing's No. 30 AOL Chevrolet, but did not participate in the 2004 Budweiser shootout. Green changed teams twice in 2003, ending up in the No. 43 Petty Enterprises Dodge, which he also signed to drive in 2004. As usual, since the team chose not to affix the proper decal, the No. 43 was ineligible for the shootout. Green could have driven for another team, but chose not to do so. Eric Almirola drove the Richard Petty Motorsports No. 43, which does not have the since 2008 Molson Coors Brewing Company provided pole award sticker. Coors Light or Coors Brewing 21 means 21 for Petty policy, with InBev withdrawing sponsorship of the shootout. The 2013 shootout does not have an alcohol sticker mandate. The circuit he will be in the first race of the new 2013 format. Drivers must carry a special decal without the alcohol brand if they are under 21 years of age, but could race in the shootout. Drivers must be 21 or older to wear alcohol decals, and those under 21 must wear a special sticker, which during Anheuser-Busch era was a corporate logo pole award sticker, without any brand indication. And since Molson's Coors Light took over in 2008, a Coors Brewing Company 21 means 21 sticker. Special stickers are made to cover up alcohol for such drivers, which has happened 4 times recently. On May 14, 2004, 20-year-old Brian Vickers won the pole at Richmond, Indiana, the Chevy American Revolution 400. On September 3, 2004, Vickers won the pole at the Pop Secret 500 at Fontana. On February 26, 2005, 19-year-old Kyle Busch won his first pole at the very same race in Fontana. On April 20, 2006, Busch won the pole at Avondale, Arizona at 20 years, 353 days, until the end of the 2012 season. Drivers under 21 were not permitted to participate in formal activities relating to the race, such as the draw for position and other activities such as conferences related to the race because of the alcohol sponsorship. In those cases, the crew chief will participate in such activities. The abolition of the alcohol sponsorship eliminates the rule. In the 2005 shootout, Vickers underage. Lance McGrew, who was the new crew chief for Vickers that season, participated in the shootout draw. In the 2006 shootout, Busch underage. Alan Gustafson participated in the shootout draw. Beginning in the 2009 shootout, Joey Logano underage. Greg Zipadelli participated in the shootout draw. Presumably, he will continue to do so until Logano turns 21. Logano himself can participate in the draw beginning in 2012. Dale Jarrett, 2000, and Tony Stewart, 2002, 2007, are the only drivers to win the Budweiser shootout without having won a pole position the previous year. Jarrett advanced to the shootout by winning the Bud Shootout qualifier, and Stewart was eligible for the shootout via the 2001 rule change, adding a lifetime exemption for former winners. 2006 shootout winner Denny Hamlin was the first rookie to win the event. He had won the pole at Phoenix in a 7-race tryout for Joe Gibbs Racing to find a driver for the FedEx No. 11 car late in the 2005 NASCAR NXL Cup Series season. A driver can make up to 5 until 2000 or 7 since 2001 starts in a season, or run portions of a season and not be declared in that series since 2011, without giving up their eligibility to be a rookie in that series. Past winners: 1983. Race postponed from Sunday to Monday due to rain. 2006 and 2017. Race postponed from Saturday night to Sunday afternoon due to rain. 2006, 2009, 2010, 2012, and 2016. Race extended due to an overtime. Segment winners: 1991. Earnhardt won first 10-lap segment and second 10-lap segment. 1992. Sterling Marlin won first 10-lap segment, and Bodine won second 10-lap segment. 1993. Earnhardt won first 10-lap segment, and second 10-lap segment. 1994. Dale Earnhardt won first 10-lap segment, and Gordon won second 10-lap segment. 1995. Jeff Gordon won first 10-lap segment, and Earnhardt won second 10-lap segment. 1996. Sterling Marlin won first 10-lap segment, and Jarrett won second 10-lap segment. 1997. Terry Labonte won first 10-lap segment, and Gordon won second 10-lap segment. Bud Shootout qualifier. Multiple winners. Drivers. Multiple winners. Teams. Multiple winners. Manufacturers. Television broadcasters. Due to the nature of qualifying for the event, see above. Several top NASCAR drivers were often excluded from the field in its first 2 decades. During its tenure on CBS, the Busch Clash telecast sometimes included a special guest color commentator, who was an active driver, on the circuit, but did not win a pole position the previous year, and thus was not in the field. 2014. Michael Waltrip filled in for Darrell Waltrip, who was recovering from gallbladder surgery. 2017. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was a guest analyst. Alex Bowman drove his car after winning his first career pole at Phoenix in November 2016 as Earnhardt was recovering from a concussion after missing the second half of the 2016 season. Bud Shootout qualifying race.